Alright, this podcast is for CNT140. We're talking bid specification, and we're to the point we're talking cable certification. To this point, I should say, on your BidSpec project, to this point you should have the following done. Let's just zip through our list of where we should be at this point. You did the site survey of the building. You were locating potential places for equipment closets, so you have those selected. You started your spreadsheet estimating the horizontal cabling needed for the building. You started a new tab on the spreadsheet for your cost sheet, and with that added the amount of horizontal cabling you would need. Added to the cost sheet the amount of that horizontal cabling. Started your cabling maps showing closet location, horizontal cabling, those sorts of things. Added to the cost sheet your equipment needed for the work area, outlet box face plates, outlet jacks, raceway patch cables, that sort of thing. Added to your cost sheet the patch panels you needed. Added a new tab to your spreadsheet with your patch panel layout, how all your ports are going to be used. Added to the cost sheet your backbone links for the building. Updated your maps to show your backbone links. Added the cable support to your cost sheet. Updated your cable map to show your cable trays, the location of those. Last week we talked what we needed in the equipment closet, racks, patch panels, wire management, that sort of thing. So added that to your cost sheet, and then did a real quick drawing of your equipment rack, showing how that equipment would get used in your closet. So that's where you should be at this point. With that, then, we have pretty much all the equipment that we need for our plan on our cost sheet, on our equipment list. So we're pretty much done with equipment. We're now starting to assemble. We're starting getting into the mode of the last little tidbits, then assembling this whole thing. So this week we're now going to add the cost of cable certification. And as we discussed in class today, this is kind of along the lines of, when you have your car inspected, you pay for them to check the car. If everything's good, they get you a sticker on there and it's, certified for another year. If something's not good and you actually have to repair it, you're still going to pay for the inspection. You're still going to pay for them to look at it even though everything was not correct. So we're going to do the same thing for our customer. Once everything's installed, we're going to hook up our cable certification meter just like we did in lab, certify the cable runs, save the results, download the results, print them out, bind them for the customer, proving that everything we installed is working correctly up to the gigabit or 10 gig standard that they desired on the cabling, and proof that everything is running correctly. So we're going to need to account for that cost on our spreadsheet, basically kind of a labor cost, if you will, but we're going to delineate it on the spreadsheet just so we're being very thorough. So to do this, we need to make sure we do have all the equipment on our cost sheet. So let me pull up my cost sheet. I'm going to go to my Google Drive. I'm going to open up my 140 folder. There we go. And I'm going to open up my spreadsheet. Okay, here's my BidSpec spreadsheet. There's my cable estimation tab. Here's my patch panel layout tab. Here's my cost sheet tab. Okay, so I'm going to go through and make sure I do have horizontal cabling, backbone cabling, all the stuff for my work area, outlet, faceplate, jacks, raceway, that sort of thing, patch cables, the closet equipment, patch panels, racks, wire management, patch cables again. We're going to need at least a tray or two in the closet, so that's in there. My cable support in the hallways, all those pieces. So I'm going to make sure that all this is in here and I have all my quantities pretty well firmed up. Not too much left that I would need to add. So I'm going to come down here at the, I want to make sure all that's in there. That's where we need to be at this point. Okay. Then I'm going to do a total of all this equipment to this point. I need to get an equipment total. So down here at the bottom, if you didn't do it already, I'm going to put a equipment total. So down here at the bottom, let me show you that real quick. I'll just highlight this cell. I'm going to click my sum button up here, and I just need to highlight all these cells I'm going to sum up. So I'm going to come down here. I think I have them all. Once I do, I'll hit the enter key. And this little square now is going to be my total equipment cost for the building. And I just put a label here of total cost. I might even make that bold and all that happy jazz if that's going to help. So there's my total cost of my building, or the equipment for my building. Good. What I need to do next, go on to the next page, I want to determine how much it costs for each cable drop in my building. This is just a handy number to know when you're estimating for customers. If you know a cable drop costs $100 to install and they're asking, we won't put 100 drops in, you can tell them very quickly this is roughly what's going to cost to do. So we're going to do that for our building. So we're going to take the total cost of our equipment divided by the number of drops that we have to get a dollar per drop amount. I'm not hung up on what this number is, so if yours is 170 or 110, it does not really matter. I want you to get a ballpark based on what you have estimated what it's going to cost a customer to put each cable drop in. So here's my grand total. I have estimated on mine I had about 450 drops. Again, you're in that ballpark somewhere there. So I'm going to take my $52,000 divided by my 450 drops. When I do that, I got $115 per drop. If I do my quick calculator thing here and do 52,000 divided by my 450 drops, I get about $115 per drop. That would be a ballpark number I have in my head for my customers. So there's my $115 per drop. Okay, I need to know that. What I'm going to do next is then I'm going to say that it's going to cost about 5% of that to certify it. So I will take that 5% of my dollar number, or my cable install number, so $115 it took me to install each cable drop. I'll take 5% of that. When I do, I get about $5 per drop to certify the cable. Now that might seem like a weird number or something, but again, remember, we have 2 technicians that we're going to be hooking up the meter to each cable run, certifying it, saving the results, correcting anything, repairing anything, troubleshooting anything, taking the results back, downloading them, printing them out for the customer, binding them for the customer as proof that everything we installed is working. So there is time involved with technicians to do this, so we do need to account for that. So I came up with about $5 per drop. So what I'll do now is add another line on my cost sheet here of cable certification, about $5 per drop for me, 450 drops, so it's going to cost us, roughly $2,200 to certify the installed cabling in this building. So I will add that as a line item down here for my cost sheet, and that's all I really need to do for my cable certification. And if I keep going on this one down here, I give you a sample of what mine look like. That's roughly what it looks like down there. So there is cable certification for your building. We're just accounting for the labor and time and skill of these technicians to make sure everything is working for this customer when we leave.